Hi, I'm Paul Gilbert.
And I'm Samier, Deen.
We're both residents at Honor Health, and we wanted to sit down and have a brief conversation on our perspectives on publishing as it relates to medical research. Sam, how do you start with research?
I think generally it always starts with a question, that thing that you're going to investigate. You always want to start there before you proceed with, well, what you're going to write about. Then it'll lend to what type of research you anticipate writing about. Is it a poster, case report, perhaps something more?
Sure. Basic ones start with a case report where it's a unique presentation or unique management approach. If you're scaling out from there, you can do case controls or retrospective cohorts. Those generally require access to a database, like Slicer Dicer, for example. You can do prospective cohorts, but at that point, that's very ambitious. You should probably have a primary investigator identified, and you should be seeking IRB or administrative approval. Figure out what local resources you have. A lot of schools may sometimes have librarians or statisticians available that can kind of help you with some of the specific details that would be, say, very difficult or you're unfamiliar with. They can kind of give you some initial points that are helpful.
Right. And to piggyback off that, I would say know your research before you write your research. That's important. So doing a little bit of a literature review beforehand to kind of inform what it is you're going to write about or perhaps generate ideas for your writing could be helpful. And knowing what journal you're going to target is going to be very valuable so that you're not redundant in your writing process. That way you have an idea of what their expectations are, anywhere from word count to formatting the paper. Some of them have templates to kind of help you with that. It'll save you time so that you don't write something up and then you have to reformat it completely. I know that you like to use a master document.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I feel like, when you're not entirely sure which journal you're going to submit to, or if, say, the formatting of that journal doesn't quite lend to what you've been looking up and you've got more to say, it's really helpful to kind of just have it all on a master document, because especially as you're trying to look for additional experience activities, say you want to submit an abstract for a poster presentation, it really lets you double dip, where you can just use the master document to then format it down for submission for that particular forum.
Right.
And it saves you a lot of time.
And before you start writing, it's important to do two things. Identify your co-authors and what their established roles are going to be in helping to write that paper. Mm-hmm. You want to do that before you start. And second, get consent from the patient, especially if you anticipate publishing it in a journal. It's important to get consent because a lot of journals nowadays require consent as part of the publication process.
The things that are most important for me are making sure you're setting regular sub-deadlines, keeping in communication with your co-authors. Again, who you pick is so important. Mm-hmm. And more than anything, just remembering that incremental effort and process will produce incredible results over time.
Just to recap, you always want to start with identifying your research question, follow that with identifying what type of research you want to write. And before you do any of that, co-authors, patient consent, what journal you're going to publish to. And last but not least, remember to not be discouraged if you get rejected. Submit it elsewhere, perhaps submit it again with revisions if they allow for that. Just don't be discouraged. It's all part of the learning process, and it's all information and practice you'll carry forward in your future research endeavors.
Failure is part of the process. It's going to be discouraging. What sets you apart from somebody else is your ability to keep going and figure out where you can improve it and what you can do to make it better.
Right.
For everybody watching, I'd say good luck and get to writing.
Good luck.